In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the complex pyramidal tree Christmas pop-up card. The first thing you want to do is download my template from creativepopupcards.com, and this is what the card looks like. It has two sections. There's inside, which is white, and then there's the outside backing, which is green. And these are a couple different views of what the card looks like. So when you download the template, you can print it out directly on your cardstock, or what I prefer to do is print it on a sheet of paper and then cut through the paper and the cardstock at the same time. So once you cut through the cardstock, you want to start weeding out the extraneous parts. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm removing all the pieces which you do not want to use. I'm using an X-Acto knife, and this X-Acto knife helps me cut little sections of the corners where I didn't cut very well to begin with. And usually I hold down the part I want to keep and pull up on the sections I want to remove. Now if you print out the template directly on your cardstock, then you may see some of the lines on the card itself. That's why I prefer to cut it out on a sheet and then tape it on top of a cardstock and cut through both the sheet and the cardstock so you don't see the lines. So next thing you want to do is to score. You want to make sure you score all the sections that you want to fold. And there's two different ways of scoring. You could score by cutting through the paper halfway, or you could also score by cutting dashed lines all the way through the paper to make it easier to fold. Okay. Now the next step is to start assembling some of the pieces. So you see here I'm folding up the little dog. And putting the creases in. Okay, the next step is to fold up the trees themselves. You want to be very careful not to tear. It's pretty fragile. And you want to use the X-Acto knife to help fold some of those hard to fold sections. You want to fold all the little tabs where you're going to be gluing the Christmas tree together. So I'm using the X-Acto knife to help fold those hard to fold regions. Okay, so this is what it looks like assembled without glue. Now to glue the parts together, I usually use Elmer's glue. It works pretty well, and you want to first glue the dog together. Don't forget to fold the ears and the leg. Okay, what I usually use, I usually use some of the extra cardboard to create a glue blob where I would actually apply the glue to. I never use the glue itself to apply it. You put too much glue on it. Then I'll create a little glue applicator, and this is what I'll use to apply the glue. You only want a little bit of glue. Too much glue can be dangerous. If you have too little glue, you could always fix it, but if you have too much glue, then it's very difficult to fix if you mess up. So you want to glue just the top section of that dog. Okay, then remove your glue very far from your card in case you accidentally put your card on top of that glue blob. I've done that several times. Okay, then when you align the dog together, close the card. You could use a pair of tweezers. This definitely helps. Close the card to make sure that it folds perfectly flat. That also helps the dog helps the dog become aligned. So the next step is to glue the inside edge of the Christmas tree. And there I'm folding up all those glue tabs, adding a little bit of glue. Using the tweezers, you push those two tabs together. It also helps to close the card and press all those edges together. Remember, it's always better to have less glue than too much glue. And then before the glue dries, make sure that you don't glue too much. You want to open it up to make sure it still opens. Okay, next step is to glue the outside of the Christmas tree. There I'm folding the tabs again. Place a little bit of glue on those tabs, and then again fold those tabs in. And you can pinch those sections together to glue the two edges. There. Now the inside of the card is finished. The next step is to create the backing. And I chose a green cardstock. And you want to cut two pieces which are about approximately 4.25 by 6.5. So create two pieces, 4.25, 6.5. This will fit into a standard invitation envelope. There. I only showed cutting one, but you obviously make two of them. So now to glue the inside section to the green cardstock. I usually use a glue stick for kind of the bulk of the card, where you don't want the card to get very wrinkly. Now, the Elmer's glue tends to wrinkle the paper, but Elmer's glue is much more stronger, so I use those for the edges, and then I use a glue stick for the center. Again, I use my glue applicator and apply the Elmer's glue on the edges. I never apply the glue from the bottle directly on the card. They'll put way too much glue on. So I just wipe the edges with the glue. Like so. And I do this on top of a scratch piece of paper so I don't get everything sticky. Okay, now you want to align, this is really important, to align that card, the green cardstock, very well aligned to the center fold line. You see that? You want to make that as close to the edge as possible. And then press it down to make sure it's securely glued. Now do the same thing on the other side, using a glue stick on the majority of the inside of the card, and then the Elmer's glue on the outside edges. And it's important to get the fold area, the area to the left right here in the picture. And be careful not to get glue on the green card that you've already attached. And don't forget to get glue underneath that dog. Okay, now this is important. Remove that scratch piece of paper that you have extra glue on. Align the green cardstock with the green cardstock that's already attached, and then open the card. This ensures that your green cards match. Otherwise, if they don't match, it will be very difficult for the card to open if it's not aligned properly. And this is what it looks like.